Jussie Smullett, Trump hater, divisionist. He needs to be prosecuted and he needs to go to jail. What did Jussie do? Jussie paid two Nigerians to tie a noose around his neck, pour bleach on him, and yell, "This is MAGA country," in Chicago. Jussie colluded with foreign nationals to divide America. At the very minimum, this is a hate crime, a fake hate crime. Now, last 2 days ago or last week, I talked to you about hate crimes. I posed the question, what is a hate crime? Or what is a love crime? And here we are today with a fake hate crime. For Jussie, there's no trial, and charges are dropped. Why? Well, CNN last night said, it's a mystery. We will never know. No. We know. We know. We know Chicago is a liberal cesspool controlled by the left. We know that Jussie is friends with crack-smoking Barack Hussein Obama Jr., a.k.a. Barack Obama, a.k.a. Barry Soetoro, but we'll get into that some other time. We know that Jussie is friends with Michelle Obama. We know Jussie is friends with Don Lemonhead, the biggest loser there is. We know Jussie is friends with Kamala Harris. And we know that Chicago is where Obama's came from. And we know Illinois has a state attorney named Kim Foxx. Sly as a fox. She is freeing criminals left and right. She freed the guy who shot the cop in his car last week. Take a vacation. Go to Chicago. Enjoy. But let's look closer at what's going on there in the DA. Here's the Boston Herald. This is interesting, Boston Herald. No, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna look at what's going on right here, because we got the same problems here. I just talked about Kim Foxx in Chicago, but let's talk about right here, Suffolk County, Boston Herald. See that? There we go. Ice out. Anyone read that? Usually they're so left. I'm surprised that the Boston Herald would print something like this. But this is our Suffolk County DA. And she says, and she wrote this big thing here. I'm going to get to this in a minute, but I just want to show you. This is her directive right here. Look how many pages this is. It's unbelievable. I'll get to that in a minute. Just give you the short of it, because it's too much to read, and everybody's lazy. You don't want to spend time with this, but you should. But this is for criminal matters. For bail, the presumptive recommendation will be personal recognizance, unless there is clear evidence of flight risk. Well, what does that mean? That means that if it looks like the person is not going to jump in a plane and leave, then they're going to be set free. It doesn't consider whether or not the person is a danger to society. No, not at all. They're only supposed to look at, for bail purposes, whether or not the person is a flight risk. So, if you do some criminal act really bad, and then you say, I'm not a flight risk, I have no money, I have no passport, because I'm here illegally, maybe even, then you're not, or, well, actually, everyone's a flight risk. You can just jump over the border in Mexico, but yeah, they're not supposed to consider the danger to society that the person poses, but merely are they a flight risk or not. It's crazy. Here's another thing. I'm going to read, this is not too long, but taking into consideration collateral consequences of a criminal case, including being fired from a job, being listed on the sex offender registry, or being denied admission to school, the DA said her office is teaming up with Harvard University, blah, 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 to map out some of thousands of collateral consequences. So what does this mean? This means they're going to look at the damage that would be done to the criminal in sentencing or in bail, because he might end up with a record that would prevent him from becoming a teacher or something like that. Well, that's crazy too. I mean, that's what should happen. Not we want to prevent that from happening, but that's what's supposed to happen. I mean, this is almost as bad as San Francisco. In San Francisco, if you get mugged, that's on you. It's not even a crime over there because it's considered a necessity act. The person that mugged you needed to mug you for the money. And it's on you. It's your fault because you put him in that position of being needy and needing that money that you have. It's really crazy, but I'm not kidding you. This is the way it is. This isn't CNN. We don't give false information here. And here in Massachusetts, Suffolk County, we're on the cusp of that. We're not saying, she's here saying that it's not that it's not a crime or a necessity act like they're doing in San Francisco, but they're saying, let's let him go because he's not a flight risk, and let's not find him guilty or charge him with the crime because it might hurt his reputation or be on his record, and we don't want that. Oh, that'd be terrible. So here is the paper that goes along with the Suffolk County DA here, Rachael Rollins, policy memo. It's like a manifesto. Well, here's hers, and here's, like, earlier in the last week, this is the New Zealand shooter manifesto. It's about the same size. And I was reading, and I read all of the shooter's manifesto, and I started to read hers, and I'm equally offended, actually. I mean, what's the difference here? Let's take a look at the difference here. The New Zealand shooter manifesto gives us insight to a demented killer's motives. Sure does. And Rachael Rollins' manifesto gives us insight into the DA's demented motives. They're equally scary and informative. A lot to read, but what I just told you about it is her motives. And you're the one who voted her in, so don't blame me. So CNN and MSNBC are getting a Pulitzer Prize for journalism for their coverage of the fake news on the Russia-Trump collusion. Russia. They're getting a Pulitzer Prize. CNN, in their reporting, well, the whole thing, as you know, is a lie, but I'm just going to just give you one point. They said that Trump leaked classified information when he was with Putin behind closed doors. Well, first of all, they don't know what Trump said behind closed doors with Putin. So how can they say he leaked classified information? But secondly, when the president speaks to foreign powers, anything he says is automatically declassified. He's the president. He's the one that does the declassification. So even if he had said something that was previously classified, when he speaks it, it's no longer classified. So it would be impossible, even if they did know what Trump said to Putin behind closed doors, it would be impossible for him to leak anything classified. Pulitzer Prize. Hell, I should get a Pulitzer Prize. I don't suck as bad as CNN or MSNBC. I want to do a poll. I don't know if I have the technical, but I'd love to do a poll. Who sucks more? Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, or Anderson Cooper? I mean, they all suck. I mean, it would be head to head. It's a close call, for sure. So after the Mueller report came out, CNN viewership dropped 50%. And let's just hope that that continues. Kirsten Gillebrand, I spoke about her a couple nights ago. She was on CNN last night. Gillebrand, CNN. What a combination. What a winning combination for America. So I couldn't help it. I had to watch. And now I'm going to share the information with you, all factual information. She said the Trump Tower represents greed and division and vanity. It must be because it's just not an efficient building, I guess. I guess not. She also said, I believe, as Abraham Lincoln told us to do, look to our better angels. So I guess Trump is an angel. He's just, I guess, not the best angel, but he's an angel, according to what she said. She said, she struggled with this a little bit. She goes, I believe that we should be a stronger country. That's nice. Love it. Make America great. And she also said, this is a bit, well, what makes us great is the diversity and entrepreneurialism and the ability to dream big and solve big problems, that we should pass the Green New Deal and get a reasonable energy so we can take on something as big as global climate change. Great. So capitalism will lead to fixing the environment. That's beautiful. Great. I don't know. Who writes her stuff? I said that 2 days ago. Tonight, Cory Booker's on. I think CNN. I think so. I hope I get to listen to him because I need material for my next show, and I hope I get to catch him. But if you watch him, listen carefully to what these type of people say, and then you can go puke in your toilet that you can't flush because it's bad for the environment to flush, but the gravity will push it down slowly over time, as we discussed in our last show. And I'll take a pill, so maybe you'll feel better. Prescription drug prices are too high. Can anyone see what's happening here? We have a choice to try to fix all this nonsense. We have a lot of choices to make. But, one of the things is racial divide. Oh, I'm done with the news. This is more of a commentary on something. Freedom of the press, right? Either we accept racial division as we see what's going on here, or we embrace the commonality of Americans. B is the answer. Embracing commonality of Americans as Americans. That's the answer. So how do we reject racial division? That's not easy. We've been taught, we've been programmed by the left and by the media to embrace and accept racial division. We have. And it's everywhere on the media and in groups and in Congress. I mean, think about this. We have different laws for different people. Different people, different races, different laws applied to different people. No good. We have been taught to accept unacceptable behavior by groups that are unwilling to assimilate to American culture. It's unacceptable. Can't have that. And we've been taught to accept racially divided television programming and political people, political groups. I mean, I'm not talking just on the fringes. I'm not talking, a little group over here like that, 5, 10 people doing whatever the hell they want to do. No, I'm talking large groups on television in our political system. Huge groups. I mean, we have things like Black Entertainment Television, BET. Well, imagine if we had WET. It sounds like porn, but no, White Entertainment Television. I mean, that would be just that's racist. That's not fit. I mean, think about that, how bad this is. And things like, TV programming, like Miss Black America and things like that. I mean, on a pro rata basis, black people win Miss America more than white people. Imagine if we had Miss White America. That would be terrible, as is this one. Terrible. Black Lives groups, Black Lives Matter. There's so many groups that are racially dependent, and that's just not good. It's not good. Or if we're going to have groups like Black Lives Matter, we should have a White Lives Matter and a Yellow Lives Matter and maybe an All Lives Matter. Something like that would be nice. Or would that be offensive? All lives matter. Is that offensive? Someone tell me how all lives matter is offensive? Because I think it is. But everything's offensive. That makes sense. That's fair. How about the Congressional Black Caucus? I mean, this is congressional leaders have a racially based group. Imagine a Congressional White Caucus. Of course not. It'd be terrible. This all has to end. This all has to end. And something to think about. One more thing. I have a correction. 2 nights ago, I said that the caucus region, while I was talking about Caucasian, if anyone remembers that, it's kind of funny. I said the Caucasus region was part of Europe, and what I meant to say was that the Caucasus region is not part of Europe that people immigrated to America in masses in. That's what I meant to say, but this isn't CNN.